podcast.
Oh my god. All right.
So we're live now.
There we
What's up,
go.
internet? It's us. If you're joining us again, thank you because the last one was kind of rough. This one's gonna be less rough. We're fine tuning. We have Marlene from the internet. You're in lots of things. I could list them, but we only got 45 minutes. We've also got Sam.
That's me.
And not Enrique.
No
Enrique,
Enrique today.
he had life commitments or whatever. We're with him in spirit, we pour 40 out for him. Shall we get into some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
get
do it.
started.
All right. Age of Ultron promo posters. Super awesome. I don't have them on hand.
Alex, you had one job.
They were loaded on my computer and they're gone. You've all seen them. They're not like... You guys talk about them while I pull them up.
Listen,
That's-
this is something I mentioned on Twitter. The only important thing about the Age of Ultron posters is Vision Jesus. That is literally the only
Yeah.
important thing.
Vision Jesus?
Vision
Okay.
Jesus.
yeah, in the background.
Oh,
It's
that's
awesome.
So there are like 4 posters that they put out. They put out that one. It was like a group shot.
Yeah.
I didn't love.
Too much Photoshop.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Are you pulling them up?
Yeah, I have them, but for some reason they're not on my desktop where I put them.
And I mean, every poster nowadays is pretty much all Photoshop, but this is really too much bad
It's a
Photoshop.
lot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
characters crammed into there.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good.
I do like the individual posters. I really
Yeah,
enjoy
the individual
those.
posters are good. It makes me
Sure.
happy for some reason that the Hulk is really fuzzy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So instead of pulling up each individual one, we'll just pull up the main one.
The group photo.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's the picture that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Present
So
to everyone.
much.
It's a lot of characters going on.
Look at Vision Jesus. He's here to save you all.
I like Vision Jesus. I'm okay with Vision Jesus now. I have a theory, though. Not a theory. This isn't a theory. Not everything I have is a conspiracy theory. But I feel like with the Vision, they're trying to keep him kind of vague.
Yeah.
It's weird 'cause
Yeah.
they've shown him already, like fully. We've seen his full costume, but I don't know. I think the
This guy-
Vision.
Have we officially seen his full costume?
Yeah. We saw concept art a while ago.
And it's got him backlit. The sun's right behind him.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of compares to the original poster, like the lineup. You got Tony Stark about to shoot something with no helmet on. Why he's not wearing a helmet in battle, I'll never know. Same with you, Captain America. That's just
Right.
bad tactics.
I mean, he doesn't really have a very protective helmet to begin with.
I mean, yeah, it stops bullets. I mean, that's all it has to do. Then of course you've got Nick Fury in the back there, just like, I know what's going on.
No, everything.
What's up, y'all?
But yeah, with Black Widow looks like a Tron. Looks very
He
Tron
does look like something out of Tron.
with the blue lighting and into the black leather.
Let me
I
grab
dig it. I enjoy that.
I like the piping, like the glow in the dark piping that they've added. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice touch. I think it makes it look like it's more technological. So that's nice.
Yeah.
I just want to see her pew 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 things. That's all I want.
The widow stings.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has all new
Pew,
weapons
pew,
for
pew.
because she had the. I feel they showed some of that in the trailer, right? I feel
Yeah.
like in one of the 12 trailers they've released.
Hey, it's a good movie, right?
Oh, I'm totally excited. I mean, I can't get
Um,
enough. I've seen those trailers at least 10 times each, so
Here we go. Black Widow.
it's so awesome.
The piping is
She looks great.
The piping is
Yeah.
awesome. I love that she looks like she's just like, whatever. I'm here to handle this. Like she just looks so badass in this
Yeah.
shot.
I can
The
just
way
check
they
out those
build it
weapons.
too, I think they very consciously angled this so that you know that she's a woman, but they're not shooting a lot of cleavage. There's no butt shot. Like this is definitely a better
They're
poster.
learning.
This is a much better poster than they've done before.
I'm so proud of you, Marvel.
They've like she just looks like she's just there to destroy something.
Funny
The spy
story.
stuff.
That Ultron dude in the back, right behind her, the crouching one, is in like every poster, like the same exact one.
Just
I mean,
completely cloned for each individual
Yeah, they just
poster.
but like they just like mirrored him or like stuck him in a different place in the poster, but he's in like every single one.
I mean, they're making posters, right? Like you have to reuse a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder are you implying that he's like a key critical character?
No. I'm just implying it's lazy Photoshop.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
That's not bad.
I mean, if for lazy Photoshop, it's not bad. Like, it's a pretty good looking Ultron. He might be awesome. You don't know.
I mean, if the trailer has anything to do with them, and they all look awesome.
Sure.
What do we call
Very
them? What do we
menacing.
call the Ultron clone
They're like
babies?
drones.
Are they drones? Okay.
Are
I
they
guess they're
drones?
drones. Yeah.
Should I look it up?
I mean, what do they call in the comics? They're not just like Ultron babies. They're not baby Ultrons.
It's like foot soldiers to Ultron.
Ultron
You
spawn.
know?
Ultron Alt spawn. It sounds like Ultron.
Ultron.
We'll figure it out. It's our
Yep.
duty as the people that run the comic blog to figure this out
True.
for the community.
Truth.
But yeah, that's the posters. We're very excited. Nick Fury one looks cool. There's a Nick Fury one, a Hulk one, and a Black Widow. I think that's all they've released so far. Next week we'll probably get some more. But yeah,
And Hulk, right?
yeah, because Marlene liked the Fuzzy Hulk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant from the group shot. And I thought I saw.
I mean, he's a little fuzzy there too, but you can see it better in his individual poster.
Is he fuzzy?
He actually looks like Mark Ruffalo.
Right. Is he
Which is
fuzzy
not a bad
because
thing.
his like body hair is irradiated? Like his body hair gets stronger too, and it's just very manly, masculine.
I think they just based him off Mark Ruffalo, who is a very fuzzy man in general.
Not
Yeah.
like should have been played Beast. Should have played Beast. It's dying blue. Oh, that's the sound that says we gotta stop talking about this. I get it. Jeez.
Segue.
Yeah, that's our segue bell because we found that segues are hard as hell, so we just stopped doing them. We're gonna not hide the fact that we don't know how to transition topics. We'll figure it out.
We'll embrace it.
Yeah, it'll become part of our shtick. So the next big thing,
Which I'm fine with.
this guy.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Marlene, are you caught up on?
I am caught up.
You are. Okay, good. So we can talk about this.
Yes.
In humanity, the X-Men are in Marvel MCU. There's no X-Men, so we have Inhumans, which are I think better.
Right.
I like Inhumans more. What's really exciting here is that we get to finally see Sky as Quake, which is cool. Little Quake bubbles. The Quake bubbles. I think the only thing that's out of place in this poster is Coulson. Like he didn't do anything.
Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
He's not an Inhuman. Like why is he here?
Don't be mean. Don't be.
I'm not being mean.
humanist.
Okay, so like moving forward, the season's all about the Inhumans, and it's really about Sky and Reyna and their changes and like what all that means and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So like Coulson just sort of being here is a little weird.
Well, I mean, he's the face of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
I
so
get that.
they have to put him on the poster regardless.
I'm just saying, I would have liked to see like a Terrigen crystal there. Anything else? I love Coulson. I think he's a great character. It just seemed weird to me that he was on this poster. But I guess you would know.
This is a good looking poster, though.
I really dig the artwork.
I believe it's Apollo? No, I don't want to get it wrong. Let me figure out who. I knew who it was a week ago, but not anymore.
It's got good composition and everything, though. I like it.
Yeah, it's a pretty great poster. I think we'll get the name and we'll put it in the show notes because I don't want to like stop and look it up now. But I knew who it was like a week ago, and I don't anymore.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I want to say it's Paulo Rivera. It looks kind of Paulo Rivera-ish, but not too much.
I don't think it's him.
Yeah, maybe not. Probably not.
I'm looking it up, so you can continue. I'll pull it up.
I am excited about what they're doing with the show, though, because there's a lot of potential with how they are taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they have a lot of room to introduce stuff into the show that might actually affect the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's an Inhumanity movie, like later
Right.
down the line, right? Yeah.
2017, right?
2017.
Well, it probably got pushed back now because Spider-Man.
Oh, because of the Spider-Man movie that Marvel's totally gonna make. They're gonna make like 10 movies in between Avengers films.
I'm fine with it.
I'm not.
Side note, the artist is Gabriel Del Otto.
There we go.
You know, Quake co-creator.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
That's sweet.
That makes sense to me.
Good. But side note, back to Spider-Man, coming back to Marvel, sort of.
Yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. I was making a joke because the internet seems to think that Marvel's gonna make 20 Spider-Man movies now, when that's not what's happening.
Yeah, no, not so much.
Yeah, you can't even figure out which Spider-Man to use. We've got so many of them now. They should just do Spider-Gwen, call it a day, move on.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
Switch it up.
I mean, it's not like
Actually, my vote is for Punk Spider-Man.
I didn't get to that one in Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know Spider-Gwen I liked, and then I liked
Did you read the new
Gerard
one?
Ways. Not all. I'm not caught up. I'm so behind on
read that one
comics. I'm so behind on Spider-Man. I stopped reading after Doc Ock went away. Like
Yeah.
I read the first few issues of Amazing Spider-Man, the volume 3, and I was like, I mean, I get it. I get where they're going. I'm probably not in for too many surprises. I can move on. I mean, it's Spider-Man,
Hey, that's
right?
fair. That's honest.
I mean, it's Spider-Man. He has a ton of great stories. I think Doc Ock really did a good job rejuvenating Spider-Man. But like, there hasn't been a Spider-Man story that I've read where I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna turn out. Like, I know exactly what's gonna happen.
Poor Alex is so jaded.
I'm not jaded. I think Dan
You're
Slott's doing a
so
great
jaded.
I like
You're
Dan
so
Slott.
jaded.
I love Superior Spider-Man. I love Dan Slott's more adventurous stories where he tries to do something new with the character. But even in those instances, just because of the nature of what Spider-Man means to the world, you know how it's going to go down. Like, it's a Superman story, right? Like, a Superman story, you know what's going to happen. Superman's going to save the day, there's going to be a life lesson handed to somebody, and then that's it. Batman, you get a little bit of mystery. Like, Batman's always uncovering new stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I like about Batman. He's like, this isn't right. I'm going to investigate, and then he discovers the Court of Owls, right? It's like, oh, that's new.
That was pretty cool that Snyder
Where's Court of Owls come from?
made this whole new mythos.
Yeah,
That was really awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Who's trying to tell me something? Sorry.
In the
So what
chat.
else? No, we have viewers in here. But
Do we really? Hi, viewers.
Hi, viewers.
Oh,
Sorry
hi.
we're rambling here. We're gonna try to edit this one this time, maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
We're not gonna edit this.
Type things in the chat. Hello, viewers.
X-Men 3000, going back to talk about Inhuman.
Inhuman,
He
yeah.
says he
we got
wants
way off track.
Kane. Or she says they want Kane.
Oh, ooh.
I'll
Are
see.
you familiar with Kane? Can you bring us up to speed on Kane?
Me? I cannot.
Ugh,
Not as well as I would like to address.
I'm super rusty on Inhumans.
Yeah,
I know Black
Sam.
Guard Bolt again. I know
Look,
Lockjaw.
I just I'm just hoping that Vin Diesel plays Black Bolt for the movie.
Do you
That's
think
my
that's a
hope.
thing that they're gonna do?
It's a possibility because it fits perfectly because they needed his voice but not his body for Groot, and they don't need his voice but they do need his body for Black Bolt. So it's like, come on, it's perfect.
I'm just stoked for Black Bolt.
Let's do it.
I suppose he could. Yeah, okay, Vin Diesel could do it. I actually really like Vin Diesel. I think he's tremendous and underrated, or rated how he should be by people that appreciate him. But yeah, I think Vin Diesel's way underrated as a talented person.
Mhm.
He is amazing, and he can drive fast cars. That's what I know about him. All right, we got to move on. So while we're on the topic of TV, CW. This is really weird. So CW
So excited about
announced a
this.
show, and they haven't said exactly which characters, but they said it's a CW show. It stars Wentworth Miller, who plays Captain Cold on The Flash, Brandon Routh, who plays the Atom on Arrow, and Katie Lotz. What's her name?
Huh?
The woman that played the original Sarah Lance in Arrow.
The actress name?
Yeah, I want to say
Oh
it's Katie
shit.
Lotz.
But they haven't
I don't
announced the
remember
actual
her
name of the
name.
show yet.
They haven't announced the name of the
Right.
show or the characters, although the internet has widely assumed that it's going to be Captain Cold, the Atom, and Black Canary. This is a very weird lineup for starters.
That is really strange.
Black Canary is like very dead.
Mhm. Unless there's another one. I mean, like Laurel, is sort of taking over for
Right,
Sarah
but
in a way.
the actress's character is dead. That actress,
Right.
she's dead.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoilers. I know Marlene's not caught up.
How dare you?
You had
How
2 years to
dare you.
watch this show.
How dare you?
True.
um,
Well, there's still a little bit of mystery in the death, so we won't speak to that.
yeah,
But
it's not so much that she died; it's how she died. It's
yeah,
okay.
and everybody's
Yeah.
involved. Moving on.
She's dead. So, assuming that these are the same characters, that'll be very interesting. Just because I can't fathom how that works.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers has a history of recycling their cast.
Yeah.
If you played a DC character anywhere else, you're bound to show up again. The original Lana Lane from the Superman films played Martha Kent in Smallville, right? Like Dean Cain's coming back to something which we'll talk about in a minute, but like WB recycles a lot of actors, right? Like that's what they do. So it's possible that they're gonna die on their respective shows, which would be really weird, and then come back.
But then they're still playing. I'm very excited. I'm so happy with how well CW has treated Arrow and The Flash.
Did you watch the most recent episode with
Yeah.
Brandon Routh finally
That was awesome.
stepping up?
Yep.
I think Brandon Routh is. I also really like Brandon Routh. I think he was a great Superman in a bad Superman movie. He seems like such a nice dude. He can actually act. Like if you see him in other things, he can actually
Yeah.
act.
I mean, he was one of Scott Pilgrim's the evil exes he had to fight.
Yeah.
I
love him.
in a lot of superhero type things.
Love him so much as the seventh evil X.
Yeah.
In the comic, his character was great. He was like my favorite bad guy in the comic. But then, like in the movie, Brandon Routh just like nailed it so perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Vegan.
Oh yeah. Vegan Power? Oh man, I need to watch it again soon.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Oh, totally. Anyways.
But yeah,
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, I want them to just keep making superhero shows.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I'm going to get burnt out if like there's so many to keep track of. I already have a tough time keeping caught up with all these shows, so
that's a very real thing.
or
Huh?
like I don't know if I can do it.
What?
Keep up with all the
Keep
superhero
up
shows.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're about to get into the same thing with zombie shows, right? Like we've got 4 zombie shows that are about to all be on the air at one time, and zombies are already exhausting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm still a fan of The Walking Dead.
oh yeah, Walking Dead's great.
But
I'm definitely gonna. That's definitely like my night tonight is pizza and Walking Dead. Um, but yeah, I agree with Marlene. I think it's very possible to get burnt out on superhero shows.
Hmm.
But that's why they're sort of trying to tone down the superhero-ness, right? Like Gotham isn't a
That's true.
superhero show. Constantine isn't even really a superhero show. It's more of
It
a
isn't, but I
It's
think
more like
that was
a
one of the main fears of the Constantine producers is that the networks had already oversaturated the market with those kind of grim slash supernatural
yeah.
slash comic booky shows, and they felt like there might not be a place for it. So
I mean, I'm
I feel
definitely
like
burnt
they
out. I'm definitely burnt out on supernatural shows. That's way too close to my face. Um,
Although I'm still hands down a loyal Supernatural fan. I want that show to go on for 200 seasons.
but this
I
is
will
their
not
last
get
season.
what?
This is their last season.
No, they're doing another season.
What?
Yeah.
Every season since season 9, I've read at some point they're done. This is it. This is the finale. That show is supposed to end at season 5.
And I'm so thankful that it hasn't.
Ugh.
full disclosure, Sam is the giant is like the biggest fanboy of Supernatural, and his
Yeah.
desk is covered in Supernatural toys.
It's
So
true.
Unbelievable.
he's a little biased.
I'm a little biased.
That's
but
fair.
Sam
I mean,
and Dean, they're amazing.
I like Supernatural. Don't get me wrong.
As
I'm not
brothers.
knocking that show at all. I think it's got its issues,
Oh,
but
totally.
overall, it's a great show, right?
Yeah.
Um, I love This is what I really love about the nerd TV, like Walking Dead, Flash, Goth, all that stuff, is that there's some sort of cross section between like all these different genres, and somehow like all the geeks in the world just like flock to it,
Yeah.
and it sort of becomes this like what's that thing? It's like a pole that everybody comes to. There's a word for it. It doesn't matter. Now I sound dumb. But like it becomes a sort of beacon. That's the word. It becomes
There
a
you go.
beacon. It becomes a beacon.
Exactly. Yeah.
For all these communities. I love going to cons and seeing a million Castiel cosplays because it's super easy. It's
Yeah.
a white shirt, a tie, and a trench coat. You put that together for $20. I love it. I love that everyone's into it. Um,
But then he went into a whole other phase where he was tieless.
what?
Yeah.
She got rid of the tie?
Yeah.
I don't even understand that show
But
anymore.
then the tie comes back. Spoilers.
What's the big reveal? Castiel lost his tie.
Yeah, and then it comes back.
And it comes back.
I want to
In
see
each symbolic
how many
way.
people are gonna be dressed as Constantine and Castiel at cons now
Like,
and get
halos with each
confused
other?
with each other. When people, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, you're Castiel.
that's my goal.
Oh man, we should totally incite that at Comic-Con this year.
We should do it.
We should have a Constantine meetup and a Castiel meetup
At the same
Yes!
place.
and see what happens.
Yes.
But then, for whatever reason, it'll become the biggest fandom ever.
We're
yeah.
doing it. We're doing it.
We could try.
Old disheveled con men looking guys in trench coats and girls. It's all inclusive.
Constant TL for life.
Constiel. That sounds like constipation almost.
Yeah.
Constiel. All right.
Let's segue away from that.
Let's segue away from.
Let's
leave
don't
on
even
the
wait for the alarm for that one.
constipation note. So the other news. Supergirl, right? CW is doing a Supergirl show. CBS. I'm very excited. I love Supergirl. She's one of my favorite characters.
Fan. I can vouch for it.
The recent news for Supergirl is that they've added Dean Cain and Helen Slater to the cast somewhere.
But we don't know who he's going to play?
We don't know who yet. This is another...
Interesting.
Yeah. But Helen Slater was the original Supergirl, not original. Well, I guess. She's the first Supergirl from the Supergirl films. Like, they had Supergirl movies that weren't that great. But Helen Slater kind of nailed the part, right? She looked the part, she acted the part, she was great. And then Dean Cain, of course, is a Superman. I don't know if
At
he's
some
the
point.
best.
Yeah.
He
I
had
guess for that time, it was fun to see him as Superman.
yeah.
I mean, it was like shoot, I can't remember the actor's name that played John Shipp that plays Barry Allen's dad this Flash series when he
Yeah.
played Flash over 10 years ago. I mean, it was kind of campy.
I watch it show live on television because it
Yeah.
came out before a show that my parents watched. I was like, oh, I can watch The Flash, yay! Um, oh, who's this? I made you do Just People. What? You all have to talk. That's all.
I am talking.
What's
Hmm.
happening?
I don't
So,
know. Sam's complaining about not
something
getting enough screen time.
Have you not switched between us this whole time?
I totally have.
Alex!
Don't even.
Alex!
I have. You're switching right now. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck on Sam, who I've muted on accident. Sam, did you mute yourself?
Good job! You are the best moderator.
No, Sam muted himself. I didn't do it.
Sam, unmute yourself.
you muted me.
I did
I did
not.
not click the mute button.
I did not.
We'll get through this. We'll hash it all out. It's totally
Right now.
fine.
So now I have to edit this because we can't have all that in there. This is I think going worse than last time, but we'll get through it.
Cut here. This is
Yes.
the cut point right here. End it here.
Dean Cain, is he your favorite Superman?
My favorite Superman?
Yeah, of all the actors that have played Superman, who's your favorite?
Oh, my
If
God.
not Dean Cain.
That's a tough one. I wanted to say, and I don't know if we get ostracized for this, but was the guy that's from Man of Steel,
Henry
Henry
Cavill?
Cavill?
Yeah, Cavill.
Muscles.
Just super muscles.
Super muscles.
But I don't know. For whatever reason, just seeing him as Superman, aside from the movie just being so gratuitous, explosions everywhere, and I don't know. And then Christopher Reeve. I'd probably say maybe.
Yeah, that's my favorite, Christopher Reeve.
Really?
Yeah, he's a classic. It's hard not to like him. There's something very endearing about the way he plays Superman.
That's
Don't
bad.
make that face.
No, okay, so he's a great Superman. One of the better ones. I definitely put him in the top 2 Supermans. My favorite is, and it's only in voice, it's the guy who voiced him from the cartoon, who I knew his name 10 minutes ago, but I don't anymore.
I
I'm
know we're
getting
doing
old.
voice actors. I was thinking strictly face
All right, so
time.
strictly actors. I kind of gotta go with. I want to say Tom Welling because
Actually,
he
yeah.
nailed Clark Kent. He
I
did it.
could agree with that.
Apparently, he really didn't want to be Superman.
That worked out well for him.
He got the part, and then for the finale, the word on the street is for the finale they wanted him in the Superman costume, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it."
Just because.
Yeah.
No reason.
So the rumor is that he didn't do it because he doesn't like the character. Like he didn't like Superman at all. He just didn't want to do it. He thought it would be cheesy or whatever. But there's also the Superman curse, right? Every time he put that costume on, bad shit happens. Sorry, bad stuff happens. So there's a Superman.
Really, Alex?
Hey, we haven't set what the rating is.
That's true. We're still fleshing everything out. It's fine. But go ahead. The curse. You were talking about the curse.
Keeps pinging me. I don't understand. So yeah, there's the Superman curse, right? Like every time you put the costume on, bad things might happen to you. So everyone's just paranoid. I mean, Hollywood's a pretty paranoid beast, so that's fair. But they CG'd it anyway. But there was also a Justice Society episode where he had like the S logo. He had like a Superboy thing going on.
Yeah.
Like a black T-shirt and jeans. Yeah. But Tom Welling, I think, nailed it the best. And then, of course, Brandon Routh. Again, Brandon Routh, great Superman, bad Superman.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we want to also ignore, I didn't like Superman Returns at all, really, as a movie. But I am a Brandon Routh fan as an actor. So.
Yeah. I feel like I just want him to
You just want him to do it again. You just want him to like reprise it.
No. I think he's doing great as the Atom on Arrow. Hopefully we see him shrink and stuff by the time Ant-Man comes out.
That's going to be interesting to see how those
point.
two characters kind of compete against each other because their powers are identical almost.
Yeah, I
Except for
think
the
they did
talking
it.
with the ants thing.
I think they did it on purpose because by the time
I
the
didn't even think
atoms,
about that. That's a good point.
by the time the atom
Ant-Man
starts
comes
shrinking,
out.
by the time the atom starts shrinking on Arrow, then Ant-Man promos are going to start because Ant-Man comes out in July, so those promos are going to start up, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, we just saw 5 episodes of this man shrinking on Arrow. What's this
Who's
other
this other
shrinking
guy?
guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people. I think my brother was telling me that his friend was already like confused about it. So it's a thing.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
I mean, it'll be fine, really.
I mean, especially Guardians of the Galaxy coming out of left field for most like the general public.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
it's a
it'll be
comic book
fine.
movie. People are
Yeah.
going to see it no matter what.
And I'm pretty sure people will go see it because either Paul Rudd and or Michael Douglas. They're like, oh, these people have a new movie coming out. But I think Marvel's making enough of a name for themselves to the
X-Men
general public.
X-Men 3000. Sorry I wasn't looking at the chat, but you were right. Tim Daly. Tim Daly is the voice
I just
actor's
looked it
name.
up too.
Thank you
Where is
so
the
much.
chat? Why
Adam
can I
Man, I
not
like
see
that.
things?
I had to pull it up. I had to pull it up in YouTube. I don't know why it's not coming up in our
Yeah.
podcast, Daly.
I like the last one.
So
That is
weird.
Adam Man. It's awesome.
Adam. um, yeah, how do I don't know. We'll figure this out. Next time, I promise, chat, next time we'll be more integrated. This is sort of to the second beta of what we're trying to do here.
Just trying to have fun.
We're almost, we're getting through it. We gotta move to the next thing. Michelle Rodriguez. Hang on, we'll wait for Marlene to finish her theme song.
I'm done. Sorry.
It's Marlene!
I was like, it's the Marlene intermission hour.
Marlene, I'm gonna record that. I'm gonna make it a segue music.
Please don't. Please don't.
Start
I'll make it. Listen, I'll make it a ringtone.
Once I've decided it's done, it's done. All right. So
It's true.
Michelle Rodriguez. There was rumors of her being cast as Green Lantern, right? And the internet was like, "Yeah, we're all for that." And then some people were like, "No, Green Lantern's a white guy named Hal or a black guy named John. Nobody else, right?" Weird.
Yeah.
Michelle Rodriguez came out with a quote. I don't have the exact quote, but basically she said that.
I actually have it right here.
Oh, read it off.
She said, "Stop stealing white superhero roles."
There's more to it than that.
Was there more to it?
Mm-hmm.
I was reading one article about it.
Oh, well, obviously that article grabbed the sensationalist part
It probably did.
to be controversial, right? Clicks.
Isn't
Is it
that the internet?
Newsarama?
I know it's just trying to be controversial.
Yeah.
But then she came out with a video, and people are saying it's an apology, but it wasn't really an apology. It was just kind of explaining what she actually meant when she said that.
Well,
And part of me kind of understands.
Well, she went on to say that it's not. It didn't mean to sound so offensive. What she was trying to say was that we should create new characters who are ethnic instead of making currently existing white characters ethnic.
Mm.
Right.
I think it's great that with these new superhero movies becoming so big, that the world is looking to put better actors regardless of race. I feel like that's the general tone of what everyone's trying to do. Like, people really like Donald Glover and Idris Elba, so they want to see them in these roles that they love because they can kind of do the character right? But even though they don't look the part, they can do the character. And I think that's fine. If that's your argument for, like, hey, this person should play this person because, like, they can better embody the character, I have no problem with that. But for the most part, I kind of agree with Michelle Rodriguez. I think it's important to make new characters who are ethnic rather than just like convert other characters. Miss Marvel, great example. You guys can talk. I've rambled on for a while.
I understand where she's coming from. I don't know if I necessarily agree completely in the sense that I do think that if, like you said, if an actor, regardless of race or appearance, better fits the role or could better embody the character, then why not put them into the pool? Why not put them into the running to play that character, regardless of race?
Right.
I agree that she suggested that we should create new cultural narratives. I think that's how she phrased it in her follow-up video or whatever, to use these kind of collective stories from these many different cultures and build on those and make new superheroes and make new important stories that influence future generations that become as iconic as these superhero stories that we're already used to. The problem with that, of course, is that it's really hard, and oftentimes non-white characters don't sell as well as white characters, which it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately it is. So I think that she's trying to change that, and I think that's really important.
Right.
So
I completely agree with that too. I totally agree. So XBen3000 in the chat just said, it's weird because when new characters are created, people still complain. So what would be the balance, I guess? That's an excellent question. Thank you, Ben. What is the balance, right? I think the balance is to create new characters that are amazing. Like that's like they have to be good. They can't just be there to be there. I think their culture. So Miss Marvel, I go back to Miss Marvel because I love Miss Marvel. I think it's a brilliant example because she was this like, she's a Pakistan American, right? But she's born and raised in Jersey. You know, she grew up with internet culture. She runs a blog. She's got a fandom. You know, she lives in this culture where she is kind of an outsider, and then it turns out she's also Inhuman. So like, it's double outsider, and it becomes part of that story of her origin story, and her whole character story is about her sort of growing her identity and coming to appreciate it and understand it, and then like get through this like teenage confusion phase of like, who am I, right?
Right.
I think that's the balance. Is that if you're gonna put these characters into from different cultures and backgrounds, and you wanna like tell these stories, it should sort of all come together in this really amazing way that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, as a white guy, and you know, a lot of the times I'll see, you know, these characters, and like for instance, Ghost Rider, when they did all new Ghost Rider and they had Reyes, I loved it. It was fresh to me to have this young Latin American guy, you know, especially, and the stories is great too, taking care of his brother, but something like when Sam Wilson took over for Captain America, like he became Captain America, you know,
Right.
He's like, it's not, and to me, originally it was Steve Rogers, and then now it's just sort of like just passing off the mantle.
Right.
It's like anybody can be that character. And when they said Sam Wilson was taking over, my first thought would be awesome if he was like Falcon and Captain America. He's got like the shield, the wings.
Yeah.
So,
well, they were best. I mean, they're best friends. They've
Right.
had shared books for a long time.
I love the shakeup. I love it. I love when things are switched around like that.
I think the culture, the race stuff, because I haven't read all of the new Falcon as Captain America, but I think the race stuff that they put in the ethnicity stuff with Captain America
Yeah.
is part of that narrative, because Falcon, even though he's this highly decorated, highly celebrated, amazing superhero, he still has a different world experience than Steve Rogers. Like, he just does.
Right.
And I think that.
But he still makes a fantastic Captain America.
He's a
Right.
he's
It's
a
a
great.
whole other dynamic to it.
But yeah, it's like there's a new. So it's not an unnecessary shift. Like there's a reasoning behind giving the mantle of Captain America to Falcon. It's because even though he is on the same level as Captain America as far as just being this all-around amazing hero that everyone looks up to, he does have that he does have just a different world experience. Like that's just the nature of the beast.
And here's the thing, especially with comic book movies and even big changes in the comics, people are always going to complain. Like there is no way around that. If they make new characters, new non-white characters, people are going to complain and say that they should change existing characters that have more popularity, because why not? If they change existing characters that have popularity, they're going to complain that they should create new characters and make them as iconic. So no matter what, there's going to be complaints. There's just no way to avoid it. So I think the best way is, you know, what Alex was saying, is to make these great characters that stand on their own and that can be enjoyed by, you know, the masses, and do so great that people just shut up and enjoy the content for a change because
I think if the content is good, it stands on its own. Shanimal, who actually I know, it's Shannon. Hey, Shannon, asked, or she said, I think it would be easier to create new characters in existing worlds and having them break out on their own instead of trying to create a new character in its own world. Does that make sense? That totally makes sense. Do you mean like spinning off a character from an existing thing? Because that's what we're seeing with Spider-Gwen. She was like part of this thing, super popular. Now she's got her own book. I think that's how most characters get started. They exist, become their own thing, right?
it's just always a gamble, especially in comics, because you never know if
Yeah. Oh,
it's going to
totally.
be getting the popularity that you want it to.
Yeah.
Right.
I can think of a number of books that are not doing so hot. I think Spider-Woman is not doing so great. And they,
I
you
mean,
know,
Ghost Rider that Sam was talking about is on its 12th issue, and I think that's the ending for that. Although I think that was kind of planned ahead of time. I don't think it was going to be
With
like a
a
super
It's
long
part of Battle
series.
World.
Which is a bummer, but
Yeah.
he'll be back. Like, there's no way they're
I
gonna.
hope so.
He's so popular. He'll be back. They need to give him. I would love to play a video game as that Ghost Rider with a car and just
From
Like,
your lips to the comic book god's ears.
you just take like the Arkham Knight engine where he's got the car and all this crazy stuff going on, and then instead of flying around, he's just got Ghost Rider powers,
yeah.
and it all takes place in like Southside LA.
Yeah,
Yes.
it takes place in Southern California. I'm fine
want
if
that
it
game.
stays.
I want it.
It'd be like GTA, but better.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider. Or they could just
powers.
do an
which is really-
expansion, GTA 5 as it is, and then just do
We're
Ghost
describing
Rider
Saints
the Ghost
Row.
Rider expansion. That'd be awesome.
We're just describing Saints Row, really, but like ethnically sensitive, racially sensitive Saints Row. But while we're on this topic, and we have a few minutes left on it, but we're going to move on. The rumor for Donald Glover for Spider-Man has started to come back again because
And I'm totally fine with it. I'm excited. Even though it's a
I
rumor.
don't know. I think, I don't know. I mean, I would be totally fine with it if it happened, but I feel like there are so many other actors
here's
that
my argument.
play the role.
Here's my argument. If we're talking Peter Parker, right? Peter Parker. First off, I would love to, if they do revamp him, I want to see him as a teenager, which is not 32-year-old
Yeah.
Donald Glover. No offense, I love Donald Glover. I think he's an amazing actor and artist and comedian. But I don't think he's a good teenager. I just don't think he can play a 12-year-old anymore. A little age gap.
I would want to see like Miles on the big screen.
But still, even with Miles,
yeah,
you're looking at Miles is 12, Peter was 15, right? Peter was 15 when he became Spider-Man.
right.
The other thing is, I think Donald Glover has grown so much since the last time this whole rumor started, not just as like a musician and everything, but I think he's really trying to do something as an artist. I think he's sort of transcended nerdy science geek that loves photography and has problems with girls. Like I don't see Glover as that character anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely grown up. He's like an adult now. He's got his own things to say. He's matured. He's a much different person than he was in 2000. I want to say 11 when they were doing that.
And I agree with that, but I still think that he could definitely channel that character to play it.
He's an actor, and that's what they do, right?
Yeah, but I do agree that the age difference is kind of a little too much to play Miles or Peter if they're going back to the high school
kind
of version of them.
X-Men 3000 says, I want him to play an adult Miles Morales, not as a teenager.
I agree.
That would be cool. I mean, that would be great. He would make a great adult Miles Morales because we don't know how those stories go, right?
Right.
We don't know where those end up, which is really kind of a cool thing because you could tell completely original stories. Like we only know what happens to Miles for like age 12 to what 14 he's at now. He's 14 or 15.
Mm.
We only know the first few years of him being a superhero. So everything on that moving forward that builds on these experiences with like his mom dying and his dad hating superheroes and being this kid in this world, it would be interesting to see that character with those experiences grown up. And hopefully it goes a lot better than that Power Rangers thing that they just put out, but yeah.
Which I loved.
We'll get to Power Rangers. We weren't going to talk about Power Rangers, but I'm now re-adding it to the list of topics.
The agenda.
I'm taking out Gem and the Holograms.
Which, like I said, I'm not familiar with, but I'm totally fine to just try.
We'll do it as a bonus thing because it's not really related to anything we normally talk about on our blog. But yeah, anything else on Donald Glover, Spider-Man's?
I would just be interested to see what they plan to do.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be something where we see him come into the Avengers, or it's just going to be a little tagline at the end of the movie,
like
post credits something?
You
know, I mean, obviously it's all speculation, and Marvel's shifting all these movies back that they've already planned. So
right. I mean,
talking of it,
we talked about this a little bit last week with how they introduce him. I really think it's going to be like a very small thing. We'll see.
Yeah.
And it's not just me like wanting to be right.
No,
I mean, it's part of me wanting to be right, but like also I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
It can't be a big thing because they've already planned out Age of Ultron, for example. They're not going to go back and like rewrite a chunk of it to fit Spider-Man in. It's going to be like a tiny cameo, if that, like an after credits thing.
Yeah, and I'd go wild for it.
I think.
No, yeah, I can just hear the scream now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have enough possibilities to like an opportunity to introduce him, like Civil War, which he's a big part of Civil War.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, but that's assuming they follow the comic Civil War and not whatever Civil War we have, because we're about to do another Civil War with Battleworld.
Right. So basically, this would be 3 total, not current.
Civil Wars.
Yeah, at least.
2. It's 2 because we had Civil War over the Hero Registration Act.
Right.
And then whatever we do in Battleworld, which I don't think is going to be the same.
Well, I think he's counting the movie Civil War.
Oh, I'm counting the movie as well. Is it like whether it be cinematic or book, that they have these characters playing out some sort of Civil War?
What are you asking me?
Was a sideline. No. I'm trying to keep track of how many they've been trying to do. Side note on Civil War, I do enjoy the memes online.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mark and
the origins of Civil War.
I've seen some good ones. We should get them for next week.
FYI, if you're not following comics.tumblr, there's a really good Civil War meme on it right now, so you should go check it out.
I know which one you're talking about.
Is it about? I bet it's about the dress.
It's about the dress.
We're not talking about. Please, at this point, the only people still talking about the dress is our parents, so we're just gonna not talk about it.
Rude.
I'm just saying, it's had its run. We're all past it now.
True.
Truths have been unearthed. It's blue and black.
Okay, so you brought up Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oh, wait, one more thing.
Again. Okay.
Runaways is coming back. Runaways.
Yeah. It's going to be written by Noelle Stevenson, right?
Noelle Stevenson is writing. Really? I love her art. I wish she was doing art on it too, but whoever they have for the artist is going to be great, so it's fine. But
she does Lumberjanes?
Does Lumberjanes. Right? Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Her blog URL is gingerhaze.tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really interesting because the thing that people love about Runaways is the characters. And this is going to have all new characters, apparently. It's going to be reimagined. because a lot of those characters are now either dead or off doing other stuff after Avengers Academy.
Mhm.
So sorry, spoiler. A bunch of people die in Murder World 2 years ago.
God. We should start having spoiler cards. Spoiler start.
Spoiler. I'm about
Spoiler.
to tell you a spoiler from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's fine, but I might drop something. Anyways.
but I mean, I'm sure it'll be good because they wouldn't just revamp Runaways unless they knew what they were doing and had a good idea with it. But I'm gonna miss those characters. Like I loved Vaughn and Gert, Old Lace and Cagney. Can't
As
remember
long
all
as
of them.
it still has
Caroline.
the same spirit of it, then I think I'm okay with it. And I have faith in Noelle as a writer. I went to a
Yeah,
panel that she spoke on at NYCC. Weren't you there too, Alex?
I was. I was at
Yeah,
Marlene
she
Con.
seems she, she's very well spoken and intelligent,
Marlene.
and she produces good content. So I have faith that she will do a good job.
Right. I just so the Runaways. What made them special is that they were these kids that didn't realize they had powers, and then their parents are all evil, which I think a lot of young kids can kind of like. It was the ultimate story of like my parents are so mean, I'm gonna run away and be a superhero. Like
Right.
how relatable is that? You never felt like that when you're like mad at your parents. You're like, I wish I could run away and join a superhero team and then stop world-ending evil
Right.
and then just live with the Avengers at some point
But
and
you
become
actually have
friends with a
powers.
robot
Yeah.
and have a dinosaur as a pet. Like it was a great book. But then they also told these stories and characters in a way that were relatable to a lot of different age groups, not just people who were I want to say they were like 14, 15, 16 maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I remember one of them having a driver's license being a big deal. But yeah.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Could be good.
And I think that wraps up all of our comic stuff. So now let's get into this bonus round, yeah?
We should have a bonus round intro.
Sam, kick us off.
The Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
Okay, when I heard about this Power Ranger like live action fanfic, I guess the fan film rather, um, I watched it and I loved it, but it totally played into my nostalgia. I was in third grade when Power Rangers debuted in '93, I believe, and I bought into the hysteria. I had all the toys, so that film totally played into my nostalgia. But now at my age, it updated it with souped up violence, and I loved James Vanderbeek. That was awesome.
That's a good casting choice. I'm not
It
gonna
was. I
lie.
mean, I
I love
was
Katie
so
Sackhoff.
impressed with it
I would
being a short film, but
I would put
I
Katie
don't know.
Sackhoff in everything ever. She's not even like she's she's a good actress. She's not a stellar world altering actor. She's good. She's very good. But she's very good at like a certain type of character, which is like Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was
I
interesting.
agree with
It
you.
almost looked like they were being portrayed in the film as like these super soldiers in an
Yeah.
army, kind of like Spartans in like the Halo universe,
Right. Well,
which is interesting.
I
But
don't get why they had guns instead of
that was
lasers.
weird. That was a little weird.
Like what happened to their badass ninja weapons,
I don't know.
which were modeled after like Nerf toys and store-bought plastic things.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing was in the
So good.
movie itself, they said what's his face was like, we were kids who had all of this power and like the fate of the world thrust on us, and we didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I never really thought about it that way, but dude's kind of got a point.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if any of you remember this, but last year, I've talked about a Power Rangers reboot. Like if I don't know, every once in a while I do these like writing warm ups where I just sort of like get a story idea in my head and just sort of run with it. But that was my idea for Power Rangers was that like the original team died and then like Alpha 5 had to like re-recruit. And then throughout the series everyone's like, "Hey, what happened to this old team?" And then there's sort of this undertone of like Zordon and Alpha 5 are basically like recruiting child soldiers for a war that they like never really wanted to be part of, but here they are. And they kind of sold it in a way that was like, you're gonna fight crime, you're gonna go on adventures, you're gonna get all this power, you're gonna ride dinosaur mechs, join us. But at the end of the day, it's like you guys are child soldiers.
Right.
Like it would keep it light but serious, sort of. So the idea of child soldiers is like not uncommon when people talk about Power Rangers as adults, because that's ultimately what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so far off. Like I think they went super gritty and super violent with it, and
Oh, totally.
that's a little far off from where the Power Rangers would have been if, in this world where they woke up one day and were like, we're not Power Rangers anymore, and we were child soldiers for our whole lives and didn't get to like grow up normal, so now we're super violent. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what Jason David Frank said. Like he came out and said, and this is the guy who plays the Green Ranger in the original series, FYI. He came out and said that he wasn't against the fan film, but he didn't necessarily like give his stamp of approval for it because he said that it was so far removed from the tone of the original content, and they couldn't really endorse that kind of violence and the drugs and stuff. But the thing is, and we spoke about this earlier, the thing is he's been in like the superhero beatdowns where he plays the Green Ranger and it's like ultra violence, like blood smeared on the walls and like stabbing things. So while I kind of understand where he's coming from, he seems a little bit hypocritical in that sense, at least to me.
I think he more had an issue with the drugs and nudity and swearing. I think violence, especially in like a film where it's like not real, violence you can kind of shove off. Like if the video games, like rated T video games, are probably more violent than those beatdown things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the nudity, the drug use, like the blatant drug use, like Zach.
Oh, everything. It was very
a coke on his desk, and he's like in bed with 3 women, and which whatever. I feel like these were all the character paths that the characters took were unrealistic and gritty and broken for the sake of being gritty. Like they didn't serve the narrative that well.
Oh yeah, it was super.
Overall, my problems with the movie, with the short, are all in its quality as a movie, as a story. Like there's so many contradictions to itself, and so many things that they kind of never explain that don't make any sense. Like who are these these robots, right? Like there's just some sort of evil force that are robots. I can accept that. Robots have taken over. How do they come to recruit the Power Rangers? I'll never know, especially Rocky. Also, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil it. You had 3 days to watch it. I don't know what your deal is. You had a week.
I mean, it's not really like spoilers.
But in the end, it turns out that like this whole thing was a plot. This whole interview with Kimberly and Jason, or Kimberly and Rocky, was to lure out Tommy. Tommy reveals that he knows that Kimberly is fake, but still showed up. Like, if he knows that Kimberly is not real, why would he walk into this trap for no reason?
Exactly. Yeah.
He might have been trying to save the other one, though.
Rocky?
Yeah.
Well, Rocky had defected to the robots inexplicably, by the way. Like they never. He starts to talk about it for like a hot minute of why he joined the robots, but he never gets into it. He's just like,
my biggest complaint was the end, which, spoiler alert again, they reveal that Kimberly is actually Rita, and Rita did not. She was like the least well-produced part of like that whole film for me.
The Maleficent Rita.
Yeah.
It
looked so cheap and so bad compared to like the rest of this film, which they put so much effort into.
I also don't remember Rita having the ability to morph and turn into people in the original series.
Obviously not. You can see it as like I see it more as like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part, like everything was fine up until that part when she was revealed. It was very weird. I actually started laughing, to be honest.
Yeah.
The other plot issue I had was that it was explained that Zach had joined the robots because he wanted the thrill of fighting. Well, if you wanted the thrill of fighting, why would you join the people who are winning and just walking into rooms and decimating people. Like, why wouldn't you join the rebellion who actually has to fight instead of like the robots who just have to show up and shoot people?
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even have to like hire him. He showed up because he loves action, but then like he does the most least action-packed stuff. So weird.
It was
Billy
totally
a tech
weird
mogul.
and out of left field.
Yeah. Jason David Frank's taken a lot of heat because of his comment, which is mostly being taken out of context by news sites.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
Surprise!
Jason David Frank hates the Power Rangers film. F that guy. And everyone's just like, yeah, that guy's not relevant. All Jason David Frank said was like, it's cool, but like I can't watch it with my kids, and it's not the Power Rangers. Like this isn't Power Rangers.
Oh no, that's not the Power
Just
Rangers I grew up with.
Yeah.
It was the
It's
Power
like seeing
Rangers
Captain
had,
America as
kind
like
of
a
dark.
method act.
Yeah.
He's like, Captain America got hooked on heroin, and now he's kind of messed up. Like that would never happen. That's at that point you're not Captain America anymore. I'm sorry. But
He wouldn't go near heroin.
No. Well, to stop it, he would like fight actual heroin.
Find a way.
The only way to stop heroin is to fight it at its source by fighting heroin. He just hoses people down.
What? Okay.
I don't know how you fight heroin directly.
Find
Chemicals.
directly.
Just punch powder.
I guess is heroin powder?
Is it? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yes.
It is.
Before.
I mean, I've seen it in movies, but I've never seen heroin in like real life.
I shamed my dare teachers from high school just now.
Drug abuse resistance education. Anyway,
oh my God, really?
yeah, I still know the rhymes, the beats, if you will. Anyway, we've kind of gotten off the rails here, so this is a good point to end it. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and chatted. That was awesome.
Oh wait, one more thing. I have one more thing.
Oh, Marlene has a thing.
Before I get like 6,000 hateful comments and tweets about my shirt, I need you to read the shirt before sending me hateful comments.
I was trying to think of anything that you might have said throughout this whole thing that would warrant you to get 6,000.
Just read the shirt before sending me hate mail. That's all.
It says mememus.
Mememinist?
Yes. Yes.
Mememinist.
That's what it says.
And not meninist.
Mennonite?
Yes.
I can imagine Marlene as a meninist.
Oh, come on now.
I mean, men's right is
Meninist?
Yeah.
Manonist.
I'm just kidding. Marlene respects all humans.
It's true.
All right, we're gonna try this again. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Gito247 says he laughed at your shirt, so that's good. This is the second episode. It was kind of rough, but we got through it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. Next week, we're definitely going to do a much more amazing job with higher production values and CG dinosaurs.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it.
George Lucas is totally producing our next episode.
Oh.
We're all going to like be in Jaegers. It's going to be great. Anyway. Thank you all. I'm going to click this button now. Good night.
Thanks.
Bye.